Welcome participants. I am Dr. Vinod Kumar, Assistant Professor of Special Center for Nanosciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, India. And today I am going to an overview about the nanotechnology. And here I will talk about the exciting world of nanotechnology. As we know, nanotechnology is an interdisciplinary area which covers almost all aspects, all branches of science, whether it is related to physics, natural science, engineering, chemistry, etc. And there are a lot of research is going on in the nanotechnology in current world. And also, if we're going to visualize these things, during this talk, I will cover the basics of nanotechnology, its origin, and the other related aspects also. In the next part, I will take the examples from the nature as well as from the ancient world. And thereafter, what are the different technological change and milestones we have observed in the nanotechnology? In the last, I will discuss nanotoxicity in brief. So this is the overview of my talk. Now, when we move further, so these are some of the major concerns throughout the world. Lack of economic opportunity and employment, safety, security, well-being, lack of education, food and water security, accountability and transparency, religious conflicts, poverty, inequality, large-scale conflict, wars, climate change, or destruction of nature. So these are the major concerns throughout the world. And science can solve some of the problems. When we are talking about science, so in the science, nanotechnology is one of the branches which can solve some of the problems in which is in the world. And how? As we know, this is the nanotechnology market. In 2015, it's approximately 110 US billion, which rises in 2020 to more than 500 US dollar billion. Yani market value of nanotechnology astonishingly increases year by year. And by 2030, it will increase multiple times, whether it is related to electronics, energy, chemical industry, aerospace and defense, especially in healthcare sectors after the pandemic that we are all witnessed, COVID-19. So these sectors will definitely rise exponentially. So nanotechnology, it almost affects all the living beings' lives in some of the aspects. Now, when we move further, did scientists create nano? Or it is already in the nature? Now, when we go to human being, that centimeter to micrometer, when we talk about the heart, from RBC it is micrometer, then to nanometer, that is our RNA or DNA. Means it is already in the nature, and scientists inspired by the nature, and they have created nanomaterials and fabricate those nanomaterials into some devices, and that is known as nanotechnology. Now, next question, how small is nano? When we are talking about the nano, so first image comes to my mind, that is nano car, launched by the Tata Motors. but that is not nano. Nano means 1 billionth part or 10 to the power minus 9. Means 1 meter equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meters. When we are talking about our hair, this is the micrograph image of the hair. So, an human hair is approximately 80,000 to 100,000 nanometer wide. Means when we are comparing to nanometer, means it's 80,000 more thick than 1 nanometer. Same for a sheet of paper. And when we are talking about the fingernail, so our fingernail goes in 1 second, that is equivalent to 1 nanometer. Means 1 nanometer, there is an increase in size of our fingernail per second. Is very, very small. But when we are talking about the comparative scale, just imagine if the size of the marble is 1 nanometer, then the earth diameter of the earth would be about meter. Now we can imagine the size of the nano. So how small is nano? And a strand of human DNA is 2.5 nanometers in diameter. Now, when we move to another example, if we fill with the teaspoon with the paint and 1 nanometer thick layer, when we apply on the ground, it will completely cover the football ground. Now we have a brief idea about the nano and about the surface area also. See, the volume of 1 nanometer, that teaspoon paint is very small. But when we spread 1 nanometer thick layer, when it covered the football ground, now you can imagine the increase in the surface area. There is a much, much larger surface area. When we are talking about the pioneer in nanotechnology, so the first name comes to Richard Feynman. In his famous lecture on December 29, 1959, the Richard Feynman quoted a word, that is, there is plenty of room at the bottom. Means if we start a research at the nano level, so we can do wonder. And from 1959 to 2021, we have witnessed about the technological change when the nano introduced. And the exact nanotechnology word was first given by Japanese scientist Norio Taniguchi in 1974. And it gained the momentum in the 1970s to 1980s. The next question in the mind is it the first time after 1970s to 80s we have discovered the nano things? No. We have already discussed nature. In nature, there is already several nanomaterials are there. And those nanomaterials we will discuss after this slide. First, we will discuss nanotechnology applications. So nanotechnology application we can find in food industries, where we use packaged materials. The packaging items, they contain nanomaterials which inhibit the bacterial growth. So we can save the food item for a longer period. And we can increase the shelf life of the food, such as silver nanoparticles, which have antimicrobial properties. Environmental remediation, such as water treatment, removal of air pollutants, etc. And then in the energy sector, nano generators is already there, LEDs, lithium-ion batteries, and just few years back, the Nobel Prize is given in the lithium-ion batteries sector. In medical field and nanomedicine, we have targeted drug deliveries. When we are talking about the nanosensor, again the pandemic came into the mind. In somehow, if we detect the COVID-19 virus at the initial stage, so we can stop the spreading of this disease. So their nanosensors plays very important role. And some of the technology already in the market, such as glucometer, where we check the glucose level in the blood. In electronic sector, we can have smartphone where the nanotechnology has been utilized. And cosmetics, we can have sunscreen, body lotions, and many things in there in the cosmetics. This is not the last, but when we're talking about the home, so we have heard the term smart, smart home, smartphone, and so many things. Means that is possible only because of nanotechnology. Smart air conditions, smart door lock, light control system, energy management, appliance control, smart thermostat, smart bathroom appliance, and so on at the home. That is the smart home, and this because of nanotechnology that is available in the market. Whether it is the sensing materials, so that is because of the nanotechnology. Now, I already told you that nature inspired the scientists to create such technology. And how the nature has the scientists? So here is the slide. Nature helps nanotechnology. That butterfly, the beautiful dazzling wings. Mothai, gecko, that lizard, which run very fast on the wall. And the last but not least, lotus leaf. These are the few examples which I have taken from the nature, and I will discuss one by one. When we are talking about the dazzling wings of butterfly, so a very beautiful picture came in the mind of butterfly, the very beautiful wings. Now, why these wings are so beautiful? What's the reason behind them? There is such some pigment is there in their wings or any coloring material, just like leaf. When you're talking about the leaf, so leaf contains some pigment. So whether the butterfly wings contain some pigment? The question is no. There is no pigment in the butterfly. Then why they are so beautiful, so dazzling? This is because of nanostructure. When we take the images of these wings, micrographs, then we see these so many grooves are there. These are the several nanostructures are there. And these nanostructures helps butterfly to have such beautiful color. Now you can see made of sugar such as cytosine or protein like keratin. The width of these slits between the pillars are engineered to manipulate light to achieve certain colors or effects like iridescence. And we can take the example of this slit. When the light falls on the grating, dissecting grating, which cause interference of light, and because of that, there is a change of the wavelength of the light, which give rise several beautiful colors. And the same phenomena we observe in UV visual spectrophotometer, where is a grating, the part is there, which change the wavelength of the light. And same phenomena occurs in the butterfly wings. Next, moth eye. A moth eye has very small bumps on its surface. That is this one. They have hexagonal shape and are a few hundred nanometers tall and apart. Means these are also of nanostructure. And because of the nanostructure, it absorbs more light. So even in dim light or in dark condition, they can see. And also because of nanostructure, it has a hydrophobic in nature. Means these they are not affected by the water. Any water repellent property also achieved by this type of nanostructure. And in the lab, scientists have used similar man-made nanostructure to enhance the absorption of infrared light in a type of power source to make them more efficient. Now you can see nature inspired scientists. Now we move to next part, nanotectors. Now this is the lizard or gecko, and this is the micrograph of geckos, the bristle-like structures. Now gecko foot can adhere to a surface and also release from surface with ease. So some of them, I asked one question somewhere. So they asked, there is a vacuum which creates between the toe and the wall. Now, if there is a vacuum created, then lizard can't run so fast. So there is no vacuum. So we know there is a van der Waals force of attraction and a physical electrostatic forces which play a role which hold the lizard to the wall, smooth surface, and through which it can run very fast. Now, foot is covered with micro lawn projections called stitty, and each stitty is covered with thousands of 200 nanometer lawn projections. This is the diagram. The ability of the gecko to climb along walls and ceilings is due to a combination of these very small nano projections finding minute spaces in the surface in which to adhere due to physical electrostatic forces such as van der Waals forces between the foot and the surface. And the next example is the lotus leaf, and we see it is non-wettable. Even in the water, it will not melt or rotten. Now it means lotus leaves are anti-wetting because of a reduced contact area from surface texture combined with low surface area, that is chemical sensitivity. Now this is the micrograph of the lotus leaf surface. Now you can see the nanostructures as same as moth eye. This effect is a combination of the chemical makeup of the surface and the micro and nano projection on the surface. That waxy material that are roughly 100 nanometer in height, the chitin polymer and the epicuticulate wax projections allow the leaf to trap air. The next example is lotus leaf. When we are talking about the lotus leaf, which is see the non-wettability leaf. Why? Because of the nano structures. As same as moth eye. Now, this effect is a combination of the chemical makeup of the surface and the micro and nano projection on the surface. Means it is a combination of nano and micro. The waxy material that are roughly 100 nanometer in height. And these are the polymer and wax projections allow the leaf to trap air. The water droplets ride on the tips of the projection and result in bed of air to create a super hydrophobic surface. And because of this super hydrophobic surface, the property of this one is anti-wetting or self-cleaning properties. And using this technology, the scientists stated the same, that this is the video which shows the ultra hydrophobic material which are available in the market. Please have a look.
Ultra-hydrophobic material. Generally, there is some interaction between solid and liquid, but it's difficult to imagine these unique tiny drops that are unable to wet the surface of the material. Science has made some great progress in recent decades in the field of hydrophobicity and opening a wide range of applications. The hydrophobic surface is based on the lotus effect. This effect was discovered in the 1970s from the microscopic observations of the natural hydrophobic properties of the surface of a lotus leaf. The lotus plant is comprised of an adhesive, non-polar, and wax-like substance, which is what causes the lotus effect or hydrophobicity, which is featured by the lotus flower, which always appears clean despite growing in muddy areas. Research in this field is very advanced and focused on finding a material with the highest level of water repellency to achieve a material extremely water repellent, which would be a huge help for many industrial fields. This is a live demo of a hydrophobic surface. Its water repellency is investigated by simply insulating it and dipping it in water. The insulated device is protected by water damage, which we extremely love for our smartphones during the rain. In addition, your walls can be protected from any dirt after being coated with this magic material.
Now we can say nanotechnology can do wonder, and this is the magic nanomaterial. And using this protein, we can save our wall also. We can save our cloth also to catch the dirt. And through this technology, we can save billions of dollars per annum using this technology. So nanotechnology plays vital role in our day-to-day life, and in future it will everywhere.